So somebody, a former student, and some other people, a couple people, asked. I've shared with them that I've started playing flat pick guitar, and I've played guitar since I was probably 10 or 11. And most of the stuff that I played, I learned to do all of this kind of thing. Puff the magic dragon, live by the sea, all those kinds of things. Finger style and you know. Etc. Not a lot of flat picking, and so flat pick stuff was usually, and so on. And then, a couple years ago, no, not even that, a year, fall of 2017, I was watching some bluegrass guys, went to a jam, and boy, they're tearing it up, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the flat pick. And so I sort of set my sights on trying to unravel this great flat pick mystery at the ripe old age of 61, 62, and decided before I get too old and feeble, I would start trying to pick up on some of these techniques and looking at great flat pickers and all of that. Anyway, it's a long story, keep it short. And one of the things that I now work on is the flat pick is, first of all, I've gone to the blue chip TP50, I guess it is. My wife bought it for me because I wouldn't buy it for myself. They're $35 a pick, and she bought it as a gift for me. And you can tell my wife bought it because she got my initials on the back. Anyway, all of that. But I enjoy playing with it. But I've had to rework this technique, and so I basically I made the guitar. Now I play a couple hours a day, almost every day. And have worked on, you have to really work on reinventing this technique to get the flat pick going. And I'm still working on it. It's a process. But I want to share with you one of the things, there's a thing called crosspicking, where there's... where you're doing all that alternate picking. So I've created a little exercise for myself. I set my metronome at 120. I can't do it now because the iPhone 6 has my metronome on it. And I don't even know what, I think a D'Addario metronome is what I use. I set it at 128 notes, then I bump it to 130, 140, 150, and I think 160, and I try to push it as fast as I can go to where I start getting tangled up. As soon as I start to feel any tension in the right hand, I back it up, and and that's kind of my peak speed, because speed isn't the objective. Playing clean, playing in time. So when that pick strikes, and so the feeling is not of me trying to play the string, it's to let the pick do the work and let my hand fall through the string and pull and rise up back through the string. So creating that feel, it requires so much rewiring of the brain in the way that I've always played. And so, and I have a couple other exercises, but for today, this is the cross-picking thing that I do. And I do it every day, or now every other day, because I try to work in fiddle tunes and other things to try and increase facility on those. So for all you guys who are just starting this, or who have played and are working on your technique, I could be way off base, but I have kind of sifted through a lot of videos and been through some workshops and so on, and I think that this is on the right track. So I started about a 120, and I worked through this exercise. First, just alternate picking up and down through the whole set of strings. And I do about 4 or 8 counts of those. So as soon as I get through about 4 of those, then I go into a 3-string pattern. So it's... and that one is, and all of this is continuous, but that one is slow. It's 1, so it's down, up, down, up, down. It's always alternate picking, backing up a string, and then reversing, coming back down. take a little time to get the timing of that, the counting, because that upstroke, that comes off the beat, but that's such an important quality in the style. So you want to really take time to get, at least I think, to get the feel of that. And once I get through my sets of 3s, notice those are 3-string patterns. That's an upstroke coming back. Then I go to 4 strings of, then reverse. 1, 2, da 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 da. So this is all down, and then up, up, and then I do every other string. So in sequence, a quick, I'll shorten it, but it's the whole set. I'll go slow, alternate picking, and you can sort this out, but it's that feel of, and the whole thing about anchoring. Sometimes I'll practice without anchoring, but I'm 63 years old and I've anchored all my life. And so it's hard to break that habit. And I haven't seen any, I'll go as far as I can, but I'll work, this with that up and down like this, just to kind of get free of it, so that I'm not tense anytime there's tension. So up and down, just do that. And sit there and watch your Walking Dead episodes and give yourself one whole episode of this while you're watching. You sure don't need sound for that show, for many other shows, or a Hawks game, or we're coming up on Cubs, Chicago fans, White Sox, whatever. Get through a couple innings this way. Not when other people are around, because they will probably slap you. Anyway, so that one, and then we go to 3s. Then 4s. Sorry. Pickup note. Go through that a few times. I got lost. Can't talk. And then every other string. Just skipping. And then when I finish through those, and then I'll just shift to, then I'll do what I call inside out. I don't know what you call it, but you start on the B string, pick down, come back to the G, and so passing through the B string to the G and up, back and forth, 4 times on that, and then I'll drop, and then on the D, because I want to get that spacing. I want my hand to remember where those strings are. And then the A. And then I'd go quick. And then I do my cross picking. Do 4 counts this way, and then a reverse roll. And then that little extra hitch that you do in cross picking to get the beat on the back on 1. And then reverse. Then I drop down a string. I'm going to go kind of quick here, but it's the same thing 4 times, then the reverse. So it's all about the right hand. and I forgot. Then I add the down, down, ups, and the down, up. The down, down, ups is our old George Shuffler pick. Down, down, up, 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 and then down, up, down, up. So down, up. Reverse it. Then combine. So that's down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. And there's 1,000 variations of those kinds of strokes, but those are kind of the basic ones that sort of get this facility. And the goal is to keep this absolutely relaxed. Some players, or most players I've heard, they actually feel like they're going to drop the pick right out of their hand because they're not gripping it tight. Especially when you start to get really fast. And I'm not there yet. I haven't developed that facility. I hope to be there in a year or so, and I don't want to worry about getting fast. I want to play clean, and I want to play with a nice relaxed feeling. And let that speed come by itself. It'll come. It'll happen. So, and I go through all the strings. And I go through all the string sets that way, and I finish here. And after I've done that, then I go to this exercise. I pick a C chord. Okay, my left hand's playing C. I'm capo 2. And I'll play the root note. And so the C, skip to the G, and do a double stroke up on the octave. And I can't remember the guy that I saw this video of. And I find this really helpful when I'm playing rhythm. Coming, starting to get there. So, and you walk up the scale. And I try to get 4 scales in clean before I stop, with no pick errors, no missed strings, nothing missed. And I go as slow or fast. I keep my metronome and just stay in time. And I go to the G, and I hit the G, and I'm playing around with this one. This is, you can go. You gotta know your G scale to do this. That's a dud, so I gotta start over again. I won't keep trying to do that, but that's the last thing I do. And then the last thing I tag on there are chromatics. I start with my pinky or my index, 4 measure chromatics, but I want this thing to be its right hand. Keep that right hand moving smooth. Nope, none of this. Not that. It's trying hard like crazy to keep them all the same pressure in that right hand. Da, 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 da. It's like rudiments. You hear those drummers out there, Schmecker's drum line out there. Got off there. And then once I get up here about, where do I get here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When I get to the 8th measure, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I get to 11. Then I reverse, but I'm doing a pickup now, so I'm going. Dot, 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 dot. So it's an upstroke to start the pattern. So anyway, that's what I'm using right now is kind of a daily warm-up routine. I start slow and let myself kind of warm up into that. And I find that then really helps my rhythm playing. And I love at jam sessions, since I really haven't mastered enough of the left-hand language to feel comfortable in playing leads and breaks and things. I'm still working on those, working on fiddle tunes and so on to develop that language and that knowledge of the fingerboard, and some lessons to help kind of open that up and get some ideas of that's a whole nother topic. But I feel strongly, before I ever want to get to that, I want the rhythm. I want this right hand to be able. So I love jams where I've got some really skilled players, and I look for the little rhythm figures and the little right hand little things I can do as a rhythm player to kind of sit underneath that and support that sound. Like anything, like the old choir days, you guys, like ensemble and so on. So that's a little bit of a right hand routine. So for those of you that are getting started on this, or anybody, if it's some help, if that answers some question, that's the journey right now is that. So I'm giving as much time and devotion to that stuff as I did to learning how to play the choir 30 some years ago, and through that career. So I hope that's some help to somebody somewhere. Anyway, we'll see you later.